A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. It is Monday, July the 28th, 2025. Another Indian football discussion on my channel. Welcome back. And those of you who might be watching this afterwards, as those who are watching it now live, if you like the conversation, do leave a like behind, share it with other people to potentially join in our conversations. And of course, if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. Let's keep on growing the community. And thanks to those of you who are part of this. And do come forward and support. And as always, as I say, also watch the short videos that I made something today on the upcoming draw of the Women's Asian Cup 2026 tomorrow that the AFC is conducting in Sydney, and other things like the AIFF's global PR disaster, my extended interview with the Desi ballers on his 15th anniversary, Zoeb Rashid, the whole Savi hoax, the national team coaching thing. So do watch all of those things, and as always, thanks as always for your support. Right. Renal has written, Arunda, earlier people were crying that India should play higher ranked opponents, and the moment India are going to play with Iran, people would say, don't play, we're going to lose by big margins. Very hypocrisy. If I was a player, I would give my all. Maybe we're going to get beaten by 6-0, but I'll leave the field with high heads. I know the difference in quality between Iran and India, so it would be a different experience. For me, I don't know why people here are so negative. Yeah. You have a point, Renal. On one side, we want to test ourselves against the best. On the other side, we think we're not ready to test ourselves against the best. To me, it's a clear thing that that we need to figure out how we're going to do it. Let's be very clear. If we get to play the CAFA, so this is my first point. It is not 100% certain. So that is one thing. I think India is one of 3 teams that the organizers are speaking to at this moment. It would be an interesting mix to play Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. Knowing our track record against Afghanistan in the recent past, of course, that's also something. But to me, we have to test ourselves against different teams. I think, and if we're going to play Iran, I'm not sure how strong Iran would be. Also, let's be clear, it is outside of a FIFA window. So therefore, for me, if we get 3 matches, even if we get 4 matches, the more the merrier. For us, I think it's a good opportunity. And let's hope that India plays it. Again, Kale now has broken the story, but you've also seen that Ashish has also mentioned that it is not 100% confirmed. Again, just to let you know that India is one of the 3 nations who are in the mix at the moment, and I hope that India is the final one which gets confirmed. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens on that front. The time has changed to draw. It's now 2:30 p.m. AFC Asia Cup Women's Draw 2020. Is it 2? Okay, thanks, Saurabh. I will check once with the AFC tomorrow about when the event will start. Yeah, they've actually changed it now to 11 o'clock European time. Okay, I thought it was taking place in Sydney. I'll figure out and I'll let you know as well. Good evening, Ishan. Thanks for being the light in this ecosystem of darkness. Ishan, I try to be. Not always easy. So let's see. Good evening, Dark Knight. Welcome back. Hi, Warman. India. It was a World Cup team after a good while. Hope this tournament has a good learning and hope we do well. Warman, as I said, let's wait and see. I have, as I said, it is not 100% confirmed. If it was confirmed, then CAFA and the AIFF would come out both with an official formal confirmation. But to me, it's very likely that we'll take part. But again, let's just wait for the confirmation. And let's see. Let them think negative, ignore those people. Sort of, we can't ignore those people, right? I think everyone who wants to be part of a conversation, um, you know, um, to me is very, very important. And if I look at it now, then we'll have to see, right? So therefore, for me, if I look at it at this moment in time, we have to take everybody along, right? So therefore, for me, let's see what happens. But yeah, so therefore, for me, let's see who we play or not. Will be good practice. If finalized as said blue, there is something. So therefore, very likely to happen. But yeah, let's see. Shaji tweet regarding CAFA Cup. Okay, get on there. CAFA Cup news is good, much needed for the new coach. Let's hope the new coach does not hand 5-7 debuts in those 3 games like the previous ones. Ishan, that's the interesting one that we'll have to see, because if I look at the tournament window, the window is it's not inside a FIFA window, so it's the 29th of August to 8th of September. Hosted in Uzbekistan as well as in Tajikistan. So it will be at the Isor Central Stadium in Tajikistan, and at the Milli and the Pakhtakor Stadium in Tashkent. So that's the thing. India, if we will be in Group B with Tajikistan, Iran, and Afghanistan. So India, if we are the nation playing, would play the opener in Tajikistan against Tajikistan. Then we would play Iran, and the final game would be against Afghanistan. And the top 2 teams, the top team goes to the final. The second place team goes into the third place playoff. So therefore, yeah, let's see what we can get. I think it's good exposure. People are spreading Khalid's name as front runner from all sides now. Wild guesses running around. Blue, it's not been confirmed. Everybody who's saying that Khalid Jamil has been confirmed, and some are even saying he's been confirmed for weeks and months. Some even said, you know what, it's between Khalid Jamil and Chandra Sen. All of them are lying. Sorry. There is no, as far as I know at this moment in time, there is no confirmation as such. And the executive committee is going to discuss names from what I understand. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. At the moment, Khalid Jamil and Stephen Constantine would be the front runners for the job, right? That has to be clear. There are certain people who are clearly batting for Khalid Jamil and have been doing that or rather have wanting an Indian coach. And let's see. Are we hosting the AFC? We are hosting the AFC U70 qualifiers. Yeah, AX, we are going to be hosting one of the qualification groups, which is good. Home advantage is always good. As a football person, what do you look for in a friendly like, say, against Iran? Do you see which players are able to match intensity and don't crumble under pressure? Ishan, it depends on the coach. Different coaches, different approaches. My first thing is if we play Tajikistan first, right? So let's see what we do against Tajikistan, and depending on that, the coach will decide on, and therefore, yeah, because I don't see also Iran fielding their best team, because a lot of their players will be in preseason in Europe. So therefore, for me, Iran will be not the, Tarimi and all these guys will most probably not play, which again weakens them a little, but again, they would be too strong for us. But for me, for the new coach, 3 good matches to test out things. That's the most important thing. I think ACL2 Durand Cup teams will release players for CAFA. ACL2, I don't see a problem, because ACL2 is in the week of 16th. No, 1 second. In the week of 16th, 17th September. So there is no clash. Goa has its qualifier on the 13th. So therefore, there is no issue on that front. And with Durand, sorry, if I have, so to me, shouldn't be an issue in my opinion. I have zero hope from this CAFA Cup, and all because football is going nowhere in India at the moment. Given it's not about hope. For us, these are any friendly match is a good friendly match at the moment, right? And therefore, for me, I take them, right? Because otherwise, I don't even know who we would have played in the window, in the September window, right? Thoughts on FC Goa's new kit? AIFF kept simple, mainly orange, a little bit of blue and white in there. It looks nice. Final decision on the coach on 1st August. Ishan, looks like it, that the Exco will come together on the 1st and decide and name the coach. Yes. Mohun Bagan FC Goa, if qualified SA 2 games will be that time or before? It will be after, as I said, it will be in the week of 16th, 17th of September, so there's no clash. Check the link. Thanks, Saurav. Moravaga is going to play in Europe. Your thoughts? Yeah, good. The more they play, the better. You know, the more go out, get the exposure. It seems like that they're willing to go to Eastern Europe or Southeastern Europe. You know, Manisha going to Cyprus and then to Greece. Now, Radhika going to Romania. We've had players at Dinamo Zagreb. It's good. It's very, very good. The more, the better for us. Iran Federation President said they'll send you 23 and or B team. As I said, that was without knowing, that was my thought, that Iran is not going to be the best. But again, a B team or an under 23 team of Iran is still on a normal day too strong for India. So therefore, it's a great test for us. It's to know really where we stand a little bit. Hey, Yuvraj, good to see you. And finally, goodness for us. Yeah, Yuvraj, again, one more thing, just to say, if you like it or not, guys, it is not 100% confirmed. India was one of the 3 nations in the running for this. So therefore, I am still just waiting for the official confirmation, not that someone suddenly says XYZ country is playing and we are not. So therefore, just, yeah, let's keep our celebrations muted for maybe 24, 48 hours, and then we can be confirmed, about the CAFA participation of the Indian senior men's national team. To be honest, what I'm looking for to this, because playing Afghanistan there will be interesting for me more than Iran. Also, I'm not even sure the state we are in, we can even beat Afghanistan. Hari, at the moment, let's first know who the coach will be. That's the first point, because the interesting part is if we play, right? Let me just check again before I say something wrong. Let me just check the schedule. If we play the tournament, right? The tournament starts on the 29th of August. So theoretically, whoever gets the job, the coach would actually be starting somewhat of a camp, in an ideal case scenario next week or the week after, right? So if we're playing Tajikistan at Hisor, we need to get there by 26th, 27th. If I work my calendar backwards, minimum 2 weeks, so we're 12th, ideally 5th. 5th would be next week, right? Would be next week, Tuesday. So therefore, I think there's a lot of things that are happening, so therefore, let's wait and see what is happening on that front. So I have strongest of strong feelings that it's Khalid at Indian national team. I wish to be wrong, but it all looks like fixed the way prerequisite was international experience, but then Khalid is shortlisted. Yuvraj, yeah, you're right. But again, there are criterias on paper, there are criterias on realities. Let's wait and see. I'm still hoping that Stephen gets the job, because I think, and I've said this multiple times, to me, Stephen is by far our best option at this stage. And so let's see. So let's see where it goes. Hi, Akonlon. I am fine. Just a quick reminder, 15 minutes of this live already on this Monday evening. talking, as I said, about the CAFA. We haven't talked about the women's, but surely we'll talk about that. If you like the conversation, do leave a like behind, share it with other people. And if you are watching and aren't a subscriber to the channel yet, please subscribe to Arunfoot here on YouTube. We're at 2,797 today. Thank you very, very much. So just 3 short of the 2,800 mark, slowly edging over towards the 3,000 mark. And of course, as I said, I'm doing these daily short videos as explainers. Today I did something on who could we face in the Women's Asian Cup, who could be our opponents, strongest, easiest is relative to say. And then the last 2 days, of course, a lot about the Indian coaches thing and everything. So do watch it and let's hope for the best. Now, what's going on with Handball Association of India? Any progress? Yes, Abhishek, there is some progress, or there are some things which are happening, but sadly, still not to announce yet. But let's see. Hopefully, we will be able to announce something in the next few weeks. The AIFF criteria is a joke. Yeah, bro, that's the problem. Thoughts on Stefan Tarkovic? Watch Ashinik's video and learned that he was good in Euros. As Darkovic has a good record, be it in his home country of Slovakia, as well as with Kyrgyzstan or Kyrgyz Republic, but at the moment, what I've said a number of times, and for that, do watch those videos where I speak about the coaches. When I last week spoke about my favorites being Habas Constantine and then Hans Zoni coaches applied 3. To me, Tarkovic doesn't know anything about Indian football. To see, and so for me, as I said, to me, Stephen is the favorite, if you ask me personally, and then let's see what happens. Yes, I saw news that 24-48 hours crucial for us to be the part of tournament. Doesn't say all. By the way, can we expect to see Kusan of Man City? As said, Yuvraj, we were one of 3 nations in the running, and I hope we are going to be that. And Kusanov, no, I don't see Kusanov coming in. It's the start of the season in Europe. That's why I said Iran has already said that they won't be bringing their best players. So that's why all the teams who have players in higher leagues will not be playing those players. That is, to me, very, very clear, because those players will not be available, right? Kusanov, Tarimi, all these guys who play in Europe will not be playing this tournament, because this tournament falls outside of a FIFA window. So therefore, you will not see the best players from Central Asia or from the Gulf region teams playing in that tournament. What result do you see AIFF paying the coach? Ishan, I honestly don't know what the discussions are on salary or not. So therefore, I can't put a figure to it. I'm also hoping Stephen gets it. The idea would have been Stefan for me, but I knew it was really not going to happen. Like, I like Khalid, but their experience is a big problem. Khalid has no international experience. Those who know Khalid, those who really know Khalid, no one will ever suggest him to be national team coach. And Stefan is not an option because he has to come in. I mean, I jokingly say that you need people with knowledge and understanding of what the situation is. And Stefan Tarkovic, by the time he's understood, the qualifiers are done. So what's the point? And we are not, what needs to be understood, I think, at the end of the day, a national team cannot be a team in a building process. Because in India, you say, okay, I'm depending on 1 or 2, 3 players. If all these 3 players, for example, are injured, what are you building them for? India has been sort of multiple nations have been invited for this. Again, Malaysia was invited, but Malaysia opted out. So therefore, India is one of 3 nations. I know the other 2, but it hasn't been confirmed. So let's wait and see. So can you please tell us the options a way forward, that how this all MRF fiasco can be solved with least friction if it's still staying? Yuvraj, it's not an easy one, right? To me, The MRA problem is, first of all, the Supreme Court. So first of all, what does the Supreme Court say? In the sense of that the Supreme Court says, you know what, the league has to be run by the federation, which is utter bonkers if you think about that. Most top level professional leagues across the world of sports are privately run entities, which even have, so therefore for me, I don't see that understand. So that's the first thing. If the Supreme Court says, you know what, the league has to be run by the federation, I don't know if the new model proposed by FSDL with a 60% ownership of the clubs, 16% by AIFF, and 24% by Reliance, if that would fulfill that, or they want 100% ownership of the league. That's the first question. I think the first question needs to be understood. I think the Supreme Court needs to come out with its judgment. Before that judgment, and if the Supreme Court judgment takes more time, it is going to be, it is something which is making it more complicated, because we're losing time. Because at some stage, we need to start planning the league. They just can't say, hey, listen, you know what, this rule is clear. Can we start the league next week? That will not happen. You have to block venues. You have to block hotels, flights. There is such a logistical back end which nobody sees, which cannot be done in a week or two. This will take 2-3 months to sort out, right? And that is the biggest problem. Is rugby big in Europe? Rahul started rugby league in India, which you might be aware of. Is it fun to watch? Ishan, rugby is big in the UK. Yeah, it's a typical Commonwealth game sport in the sense, but again, it has its fans in France and in Italy. We got the Six Nations, the rugby, which is there. It was held in Mumbai at the Mumbai Football Arena. And I know the guys who are behind it. They're trying. They did a lovely event, but can it have an impact? That's the question behind all these leagues. The point is, at the end of the day, all the potential leagues that have happened or are happening in an Indian context. So let's see what happens. Stephen is best. I know some people want Stefan, but right now we are in no condition to do experiments. And at least with Stephen, we all know what we're going to get. Exactly, Icon Don. That's the simple thing. Man, we better do good, otherwise it will be like sidelining good for bad players. I mean, it's an invitation. So whatever we do, honestly, sounds bad. But at the moment, with Malaysia opting out a little over a month before the tournament, it's like, making up numbers. Iran is are going to send their BTC team. Most Icon on 100% they will be, because the best players who play in Europe will not come, right? So they because the tournament is outside of a FIFA window, first of all, and secondly, even if you can't play an 8-nation tournament in the FIFA window, so therefore that's it. Blue, I'm not going to name them, as I said. So there is this theory of ours that Mr. Habas would have been the fittest for Indian national team and these players, as he would be amazing giving belt treatments in dressing room. Do you agree? Yuvraj, this whole belt treatment, whatever people say, sounds nice, but makes no sense. For me, as I said, Senor Habas and Stephen were the best options of those who had applied. What are the reasons for Senor Habas not being taken? I don't know. So therefore, we'll have to, maybe it'll come out one day. Let's see what happens. As Onao said, it's not in FIFA when the European teams won't send their players. Exactly, Icon Loan. Hi, Vaishnav. If this was start of a new cycle for Asia Cup, then would you have preferred Stefan? Yeah, I think I would have. Yeah, I would have tried something new. As I've said before, I would like to have started sometime with international experience coming in, bringing that international experience and exposure into the system. So therefore, from that perspective, yes, I would have liked someone like a Stefan Tarkovic coming in. Yeah. Adi says, look, Afghanistan can be kicked out. This will be a problem, but Iran is a mismatch that we know where we will win. Adi, let's wait and see what we do, how we do, what we do. Again, Afghanistan is not going to be a cakewalk for us. So that Azmoun and Taremi can form a lethal two in a 4-4-2-9. Yeah, but Ishan, then both won't be playing. We playing Iran. Let's go after a long time. Would love to see the game as well, but let's see which set of players play and which coach gets selected. Yeah, let's see. Yuvraj says, Khalid to the national team in emergency to get quick results in AFC qualification like you need. Goes versus Prime AC Milan defense and Gustavo Timo Werner or Rasmus Højlund. Nah, that's bad. Bad comparison, Yuvraj. Russia were invited too, but they declined, says Axe. Okay, sir, is this CAFA Cup a glorified friendly or really a good tournament? It's not a glorified friendly. It's a what they call the CAFA Nations Cup. It's the second edition of it. You know, and it is in the second edition is being held as to mark the 10th anniversary of the Central Asian Football Association, and yeah, 6 member associations plus Malaysia and Oman was the original invitation. 15 July, it was announced by Malaysia that they couldn't come because of their logistics regard to players, right? Because Malaysia has a lot of European-based players, so certainly Malaysia would have had to come with players from the Malaysian Super League. So yeah, therefore, yeah, so therefore, to me, good competition for our team, and therefore let's see what we can do. So every time I open Twitter, I see Diamond Harbour FC announcing a new signing. Yeah, they have been good. And if I'm not wrong, they also beat Mohammedan Sporting today in the Durand Cup, right? So I think Diamond Harbour, yeah, 2-1 comeback win for Diamond Harbour FC against Mohammedan Sporting. So they are going to be the team to beat, so to say, in the I League at the moment, it looks like. This season, Diamond Harbour FC, I mean, Ulicha Nazri, Luka Machin, and all these guys who've signed for them, looks like a very, 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 very interesting team to be. Do you think Iran underperformed at the Continental World Cup stage? Some of the players can be considered the best players of Asia. I don't think so, Ishan. I mean, they've had upset wins in the World Cup. Asian Cup is a weird one, right? Because you see a lot of teams who do well in the Asian Cup suddenly don't seem to do well in the World Cup qualifiers. Now look at Qatar, winners of the last 2 Asian Cups. But Iran, to me, I don't think are underperformers. Don't we play Iran way back? I think 2016 FIFA qualifiers. I think we lost 4-0 or something. It's been out there. I think we lost 3-0 in Bangalore, if I'm not right. And yeah. So therefore, yeah, I think 16 or 17 was the last time we played them. Any thoughts about how as a team beat you then playing by 3-1? How you 70 team beat you 90 team by 3-1? Which match, Adi? Which U17 and which U19 team? Sorry, I'm not sure. So do you think Sunil sir will eventually be sidelined given the out of retirement experiment of his didn't work out quite well? I don't think so. I think whoever becomes the coach, it will be in direct, honest conversation between Sunil and the coach, and then they will decide if the coach wants to keep him, or the coach says, you know what, Sunil, I don't need you. But I don't think any of the coaches, if they're smart, even Steven, I don't think will say, Sunil, I don't need you, because I think the coaches know the value of a Sunil Chetri to the setup, and therefore I wouldn't think that a coach will turn down the opportunity to have Sunil in the squad. So I don't think so. Yuvraj says, yes, sir. Lucas scored winner 90 plus 10. Wow. Okay, that is that is something. Yeah. Since U17 World Cup is annual now and sports have increased, I just want to see a FIFA U17 World Cup qualification. Yeah, but My problem would be to see that the level of talent that we have at the moment compared to what kind of talents we had in the past, we have a problem. So therefore, if this had happened 10 years ago, we would have sure gone to a World Cup. If this happened 20, 25 years ago, we sure would have gone to a World Cup. At the moment, because also the others around Asia are developing quite fast and quite quickly, I would say that it's a tough ask. So therefore, let's wait and see what happens. I think we need to ensure that we qualify at least for the Asian Cup regularly, and then from there can go to the Under-17 World Cup. Luca, such a quality asset for any team, has played at almost every level. Indian has delivered every time. Yeah, Adi, great player. Therefore, yeah. Therefore, for me, good signing. Mirsad can cost them the league, it seems. He's had his moments, be it at East Bengal, be it at Northeast United, but at I-League level, Mirsad should be good enough. So let's see. He should be now. The U23 strikers have performed better in finishing against Tajikistan. Check the recent friendly. Where did our strikers do well against Tajikistan? Did I miss something? Where did our strikers do well against Tajikistan, Adi? We were terrible in those two matches. What draws are you praying for our women's team, sir, to get easier group? Yuvraj, attached here, pinned to the top. My summary of the whole thing, if you want, not only you, but everybody else. As a summary, I think Australia, Australia, Vietnam, and Uzbekistan would be my, on paper, easiest group. Worst case is North Korea, China. Yeah. I mean, North Korea and China, we're done, right? I mean, North Korea, China on a good day can score double digits against us. Let's be very, very honest. So that's, so therefore, yeah. Women Asian Cup draw tomorrow at 2:30. Yes, X, I've seen that. Therefore, I'll be doing a live watch along for that, for the draw. So do join me. Initially, it was actually planned for 4:30. Now it seems like 2:30. So I check with the AFC and then put out the right time. Is CAFA and FIFA window? FC Goa and Mohun Bagan Super Giant will leave players outside the window due to AFC commitment. Shushanto, no, it's not in a FIFA window. It is outside of a FIFA window, but FC Goa have their qualifiers beforehand. And if Goa qualify and Mohun Bagan themselves would have matches on the 16th and 17th of September, we don't have any league commitments. So I'm not sure what the situation is, but normally the club should be releasing players, even though it's outside of a FIFA window. Well, he did a terrible mistake today against Mohammedan Sporting. Didn't even create much. Match was mostly one-sided. Okay. I'm not watching the Durand Cup, so I can't say anything about it. I'm talking about India 23 versus Tajikistan. Yeah, Adi, we didn't play well. I don't know where you saw it. Yeah. So therefore, for me, no. I think if I'm honest, I think we need Sunil still. If we like it or not. Okay, we'll check for sure. I usually watch your videos next day morning on my way to office. Okay, Rugraj, nice. That's good. Is this CAFA thing is officially announced? No, it's not get on rare. Because otherwise you would have seen a CAFA a CAFA and an AIFF release on the same matter. So no, there's been no release from both sides. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see what options there are, and therefore, what we can do. But again, I think, as I said, I think if we play the CAFA Nations League, great, brilliant. 3 good teams. So let's wait, see what happens. Nisha didn't play well today. No issues. Diamond Harvest. He will send at least 3 backups by tomorrow, says Yuvraj. Yeah, let's wait and see. If Mohun Bagan don't play full squad, Diamond Harvest will farm us for sure. Oops, no, that's negative. Yeah, I mean, Diamond Harbour could be a very interesting sort of dark horse looking at the situation. I'm just looking at the groups, right? In Group A, East Bengal have 3 points, Air Force South United 1 point each. In Group B, Diamond Harbour have 3. In Group C, Jamshedpur FC have 3. In Group D, Indo-Tibetan Border Police beat Karbi Alang Morningstar FC yesterday. So they're top of Group D with, and Group E has Shillong Lajong, who beat the Malaysian Armed Forces 6-0. So they're top of that. And Group F haven't started yet. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens. It's a long drawn tournament, right? We're still 28th of July, and then the playoffs with quarterfinals 16th, 17th, semifinals 19th, 20th, and 23rd is going to be the final in Kolkata next month. So yeah, a lot of football to be played in the Durand Cup. If this CAFA thing is not official, then again it's going to be a global fun of Indian football. It is official, and but the point is, to me, the question is if we are going to be the final team, and that's just something. I don't know if Ashish jumped the gun by putting this out today and then later on having to clarify. You know, there is still some time for the confirmation. So therefore, let's wait and see. I hope we get it. So whatever. Very bad set piece defending cost us the game. Tajikistan U23 plus the red card for reckless challenge from Ayush. Kyrgyz game was game we played worse. Good thing was we took the lead with 10 men. Yeah, Hari, but again, you can't buy anything. Sir, have you heard some stories about why a Spanish FC Goa coach was sacked by FC Goa a few years back? Or is that story only a rumor theory making rounds? I don't know, Yuvraj, what story you are talking about and which coach. So, don't know. I mean, I've heard a lot of stories about why coaches had to go, this, that, everything, but I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. Maybe I know it, maybe I don't. And I don't give too much on rumors and theories. As you guys know, I live in the world of hard facts. Durand Cup spreading to so many stadiums is just far too cost. No, on the other side, no, because it actually dilutes the cost, no, because you have the support of the Assam government, local authorities in Kokrajhar, you have the support in Shillong from the government, you have the support in Jharkhand from the government, Bengal government. So for the organizer, spreading it out is actually less of a cost than having it all, let's say, in one venue or two venues. Thoughts on Punjab FC's new logo? Axe, as someone who was involved in the original round glass Punjab logo, which was now being used by Punjab FC, if that whoever's created that lion logo, share logo, I hope it is not the new logo. You know, so let's wait and see what happens. But yeah, I hope it's not. But let's wait and see. As I say, find India playing CAFA Nations Cup and using all MOU and Malaysia exit and best win. Now we would surely get some valuable exposure and at least get ready for Asian Cup qualifiers better. Shanlata, just a reminder, it has not been confirmed by CAFA. So therefore, let's just wait. And this has nothing to do with the MOU or anything. This is just that CAFA is trying to fill the last slot. They were in talks with 3 national federations. India is one of them. And so far, nothing has been confirmed by any side. So therefore, again, I don't want to be in a situation tomorrow or day after to come out and say, guys, sorry, you know what, they turned us down in the end. I don't want to be in that situation. I hope that they take us and they keep us in the tournament and not use us and then actually, I don't know, take some side from the Middle East and as a replacement. So therefore, I'm just waiting, you know, and that the announcement comes and that we play, because if we're going to play Tajikistan, Iran, and Afghanistan, invaluable exposure in those 3 matches. Sir, if PFC paid me some money, I would have gave them a banger Lion PFC logo, all using free chat GPT. And again, let's hope it's just not reality. Yuvraj, I don't even know why they need to rebrand. I love the logo. It's a corporate logo. It's a club logo. It's not a faltu sort of, I don't know, franchise team logo. As I said, I like the logo that they have, and so therefore, I don't know. If I hope it is for. I actually haven't asked. I need to ask someone at Punjab. See, I hope it's not true, and they keep that corporate logo, because that corporate logo to me looks good, right? And yeah, and use the share. I mean, I've seen the branding when I went to Delhi and watched the game. The branding looked brilliant. So yeah, why change? I also don't know if you've got something which works, why do you need to change it, right? If you make a few tweaks here and there and make it better, I make it made sense, right? So therefore for me, it's like the Mumbai City Football Club logo. I really like it, right? That is a evolution of a logo from the old to the new, that it looks more like City Football Group. That's a nice one. But this one, if it's true, I hope not that this is lion and then Punjab FC written underneath it. It looks terrible. Lion logo seems like from video game of 90s. Yeah, blue, something like that. So is India still unconfirmed to play with, or result to nothing but a joke? If it is, then Indian football AIFF is over. I hope not, but it is not confirmed, right? Did the AIFF confirm? This is the problem, guys, that you guys get carried away by unconfirmed news, right? Again, no one has confirmed this. This is a story that Ashish has put out via here now. So therefore, it is not confirmed. And so therefore, wait and watch. It should happen in the next 48 hours. I think by Wednesday there's going to be a confirmation. And I hope when the confirmation is made by CAFA, that the confirmation says India is going to be the 8th team to play the tournament. CAFA Nations Cup. Very simple. Imagine India winning CAFA Cup of Nations. Again, rare. Anything in football is possible. So who knows? In any world, sir, can AIFF bring along some significant investors like EdTech, FinTech, have an ISL level league without FSL? No. Who would invest? Right? People, if you look at social media, if you look at what's been written here, left, right, and center, people have been very, very critical about sports, right? And to me, if I was talking on Saturday with people who've invested into sports entities, and my question to those people was, right, those are people who invest huge money into stocks and gamble here, there, and everything. I said, so, and my simple question to them was, and I'm talking about European football clubs or even into North American sporting entities. I said, you have a value, you have a resale value, right? And you're hoping that your entity, which is worth, let's say factor one, might be worth factor 2, 2.5, 3, or maybe even more. But in an Indian sense, if I have even 1 crore to spend, my 1 crore is gone at the end of the day. There is nothing coming back to me. I am not increasing my wealth. This is what needs to be understood when we talk about Indian football, right? So therefore, for me, that's something which we are totally forgetting in all these discussions, that someone should come forward and they do this, we don't do that. It's not going to happen as long as our system is not worked out in a way that is the way it should be doing it, right? So therefore, I am if forget investors from EdTech, FinTech, or whatever, even large corporations, who can Reliance be replaced by? Let's say by Adani. Have you heard anything from Adani Sportsline that they're investing into football or wanting to invest into football? I know people have tried to link them to that, but I know some people who have or who are still working there, and they've clearly said, no, we're not interested in football. So that's the reality, sad as it is. Shanlata says, aware but not thinking about a women draw, because every team which will be far better than us and going to be tougher for us with every team. Yeah. Shanlata, well summed up. To me, it doesn't matter which group we're going to get. We're going to get into tough groups anyway. Yeah. So therefore, for me, I'm not getting carried away, right? I'm realistic at the moment. That to me, whichever group we're going to get, it is going to be tough for us, right? I have to accept the fact that if I'm looking at the groups, let me go into the pots, right? Host Australia, Japan, North Korea, 15, 7, 9 ranking in the FIFA pot 1. China, South Korea, Vietnam, pot 2. China 17, South Korea 31, Vietnam 37, right? Pot 3, Philippines 41, Chinese Taipei 42, Uzbekistan 51. And we are 70th in the ranking, right? Bangladesh is 128, which is insane. And Bangladesh has been beating us on a regular basis. So therefore, I don't know. This is, I'm happy we're there. And I will try and work out a schedule that I maybe be able to get to Australia next year. But yeah. Is it right to say that's what all these years primary source for club income is transfers? No. For some smaller teams, it might be. For the bigger teams, it's an expenditure. Where is that an income? Is there an income for Mohun Bagan and East Bengal? No. Or even other ISL teams, it's an expenditure. Right? So therefore, they don't have a source. Everyone is losing money every year. I don't even remember when the last time in Indian Parliament sports was talked. Probably last was Olympics, that Manu Bhaskar case, which got interest only because of politics. Yeah. Yeah. Lou, they should be talking about the sports bill, which again now has been sort of it's getting very dark. Let me just put the lights on. Thunder shower coming. The problem here is very, very simple, in my opinion, that if we look at the current scenario, right, then sport is not something that is important. It is only when, something as a PR effort. India is talking about 2036, and if you talk to different people who are in the world of sports, India is not part of the discussion at the moment. So that would be my concern, in the sense of saying is, okay, listen, we in India are talking about this, but the rest of the world doesn't care, right? I know people in Asia think, Qatar is going to apply. Here in Germany, the conversation is we're going to bid for 2036, right? I've heard from friends in other parts of the world. Mexico wants to bid, Turkey wants to bid, Indonesia is thinking about it. This is not, we are not perceived to be a sporting country. So these things need to be kept in mind. And I don't know where we will go with this. So we're playing in CAFA now. When will AIFF decide the coach? Pranjal, I hope we will be playing the CAFA Nations Cup. But at the moment, it is not confirmed. And AIFF is supposed to decide the coach by Friday. Right? So that's the reality of where we are, as you ask me now. So in the next 2 days, we should have a decision from CAFA. Are we the team number 8, or are they going to pick someone else? It's actually because if we see carefully, it is written paperwork is yet to be done. It means we're not still guaranteed to play. It is only a high chance, but after pay will be completed. Yeah, it's not just about paperwork. It's about other nations also being in the mix, right? Again, you guys follow social media. You don't know what is happening in the background. Yeah, that's the problem, right? This story is being sold in India. I don't even know if some other country is saying, hey, listen, you know what? Actually, we are the one who are going to be the 8th country. So let's wait and see. I hope we are going to be confirmed. But in these days, I'm very, very careful before something is confirmed. Hi, Piyush. On a stream after a week due to some work, and also I've started again following esports, which I used to. I will only see Indian football once some credible things happen. Yeah, but Piyush, that is something which I honestly don't support, because then you also become one of those who said, okay, you let the Indian team do better, then I'll support you again. At the moment, we're doing bad. Yes, 100%. But Indian football needs support from you, from me, from everybody. And if we don't do that, it's very difficult, right? So keep on supporting. Me too. Every group will be tough. What I'm looking forward to is how the team does against these top top teams. What we learn if we get to several good results is just a bonus. Hari, first of all, the difference of level between India and Japan and then North Korea is between India and Mongolia at the other end, right? Yeah. So therefore, for me, being at the tournament is already a bonus because we got past the Thailand, who, for whatever reason, didn't take us seriously. And if we are able to get a decent group and create some upset and then suddenly somehow, can dream about the World Cup, it's fine. But actually, this is something where I actually say, you know what, this is a topic which we needed to utilize and push and say, you know what, we need OCIs, female OCIs to strengthen our team. Look at Philippines and all the other teams. Yeah, what's happening? So any updates on I-League trophy to Kashi? Are we getting a new one or search whether it's returning? So, Yuvraj, AIFF complete silence on the matter. I have not heard anything. Just hope we get Vietnam from pot 2. We don't beat a pot 1 team, and pot 3 teams I think are beatable. And if we get China or South Korea from pot 2, chance for quarterfinals decrease. Pot 3 teams are beatable? When was the last time we beat a team from that pot 2? When was the last time we beat Philippines, Chinese Taipei, or we played Uzbekistan in May, right? And people were very critical after our performance against Uzbekistan, right? Yes, sir. We Indian football fans are really so unrealistic and hype creating, and all the content creators said, Ashish Bhai and you, this is not good. Thanks for guiding. True advice to be a little patient. Shanglata, yes, but in this instance, even Ashish, I mean, I've known it now for at least a week that we are in the running for it, but I wouldn't speak about it because then you create a hype, right? CAFA Nations Cup, it could likely happen, yes, but at the moment it is not confirmed, right? Hi, Methamphetamine, I am good. What do you think about CAFA Cup? As I just said, if you joined, watch the first 52 minutes of this conversation. Most of it has been around that. It is still not confirmed. So for me, as long as something is not confirmed, I'm still being very, very careful because last week, at least, there were 3 nations in the running for that 8th spot in that tournament to replace Malaysia. And I don't know what the status with the 2 other nations is. So therefore, I'm just waiting, and no, we will not be facing the best sides because the European players of all the nations will be missing. So Iran is going to be playing a B team or an under 23 team. Same can be said. We won't be playing Uzbekistan, but Uzbekistan will be the same thing as well. And Tajikistan could also be missing. All the nations who have got players based in Europe, that it's start of the season, none of them will be released because it's also not a FIFA window. How can one not log into Indian football daily? It's exactly the Indian masala which Europeans came looking for 600 years back. Dhruva, very nice, very nice. Yeah, I mean, we're done now with the Xavi Hawks, and Pep also came in for a few minutes, and now we're in the CAFA thing. Just think if CAFA day after tomorrow turns out and we don't play CAFA. I mean, that's I don't want to be in the AIFF shoes then. If we don't play CAFA, this is another thing. And then suddenly Ashish gets in trouble because he posted it in goodwill, said, listen, we are close to it, but we're not done. And this is the problem, right? So therefore, yeah, let's see. I hope we play, but there is, whenever you think that Indian football, quieter, let's cool it down and take a few steps back, something or the other crops up and you think, oh, again, something has emerged and we're talking about this, we're talking about that. Welcome to the world of Indian football. Indian football is never stops giving, so to say, when it comes to stories and twists and turns. Yeah, that's very, very peculiar at the moment. But sir, I've been following football since 7 years, and let's be honest, I see nothing. Indian football doesn't even seem dark, but it seems Indian football just doesn't exist or something which is abstract. Piyush, I've been following Indian football now for more than 27 years. What do you want me to learn to say? Listen, to me, very, very clearly, yes, you have followed Indian football, of course, in more difficult times than I have, because I look 25 years ago, there was a lot of hope. At this time, I was in England. This time would have been sitting we had a training session with the boys before the game against Bangladesh tomorrow in Leicester. And but you have to go through it. As a fan of a country, you can't pick something. You have to stick with the country. Yeah. And what to say. That's my thing that I tell you or everybody else. Keep on supporting Indian football. Don't stop. What would be the best qualifications now for India women's? As I said, watch my video if you haven't. Also linked at the top here in the comment section. Australia, Vietnam, Uzbekistan from the rankings, maybe even Chinese Taipei more than Uzbekistan. But that would be the best most probably. And then, hope for the best. So honest question, did Pep Hoax mail actually arrive or was it just a cover up for Xavi? Yuvraj, I don't know. I mean, you're going next level with this, huh? I'm now sure that they received a few hoax. A few hoax applications. As I said yesterday, I would have not put out the name of Pep Guardiola. I mean, just look at that BBC article which ridicules us, which is really, I find that embarrassing to say the least. But to me, if you ask me, with this way or that way, the sad part is, we could in the past say that things are going this way or that way. Now, though, anything is possible. That's the craziness of where these guys have taken us in the last 3 years. Hey, Rachit, I'm doing fine. Well, I'm doing good. Oh, wow, good picture, man. Look fit, very fit, nice smile. Good to see you back. Hope everything is good. Yes, things are fine with me, even though the summer here is giving me some troubles because we don't have a proper summer. Every day it's like in the morning, you don't know, fresh, put on a jacket, afternoon sun comes out, in evening time, some sort of shower. Yeah. While the journalists are getting the flag, is actually the mismanagement that is leading to the jokers. Yes, scoops are important, but even journalists need to be careful of this management. I would not put the blame on the AIFF on this, to be very honest. I've said this multiple times. My gut feeling is that someone of the stature, of the experience of a Marcus needs to handle this differently. And if you are not sure if what the AIFF has given you as an info is right or wrong, then I would go and check the information, right? I would check with someone or the other, say, get it checked. Is it right or is it wrong? And then if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But to me, he didn't do that and put it out as a tweet. Made it worse because he made a newspaper article out of it in the Times of India. Fabrizio Romano tweeted it, quoting Marcus, and then the story went global. So therefore, that is mine. With the AIFF, the AIFF is the AIFF at the moment. Yuvraj says, sir, if CAFA doesn't happen, God forbid so, but if it doesn't happen for us, we'll have at least 2 live streams to laugh off with a big boulder on our chest. I hope not. I wish not, because I want us to play that tournament if we got the opportunity to play. But the possibilities are still there that someone else might play in our position in that tournament. So therefore, I hope, I wish, I hope, I pray I don't want, again, that would be another comedy chapter to add at the moment, but I hope it doesn't happen. The other CAFA nations will play with their U21, U23 against us. That is very likely, Raj. Very, very likely that they will play with their B teams or under 23s, under 21s, because yes, the tournament is happening outside of the window. And not to forget, the under 23 Asian qualifiers are just a few days later, right? So if I'm right, that would be something which I think is, once again, and before I do it wrong. No, sorry, they're 3rd to 9th. So that clashes with CAFA. Very interesting. So some nations will not be able to play the under 23s. So it will be most probably a combination of a B and a weekend under 23s. Yeah. Oh, before I come to you, Raj, once more reminder, over an hour already on this live. So if you are liking the conversation, do take a live behind, share it with other people to join. Also, like if you're maybe watching it afterwards and just listening to this, if you're liking, 22 likes so far. Thanks a lot, everybody. And if you're new, as I say, liking the conversation, leave a subscription behind. 2,797 is where we are at this moment, just 3 short of the 2,800 mark. And yeah, if you're new, like the conversation, share it and watch the videos. As I said, I did something where permutations, combinations, who could we face in the Women's Asian Cup. Tomorrow's the group draw. And before that, all the other videos, especially, didn't get that many views, but put in extra effort to do an extended interview with the Desi Baller 15th anniversary with Zoeb in London, outside of the London Stadium, a couple of weeks back. Do watch it and other things as well. Thanks for your support. Can you share the most memorable in a good and a bad way day for you and I, sir? The worst day will be the opening of the ISL night of 11th to 12th of October. Because I tried to get Nicholas Anelka cleared by the AIFF and FIFA to play for us, and we couldn't get him to play for us, so that was bad. We lost 3-0 to Atletico de Kolkata, so that would be, if you ask me, my worst experience, because I know a lot of people were excited by the buzz around the ISL starting, this, that, everything, and I just didn't have a good feeling, didn't have a good day, so to say, if you ask me. And then the next match, Pune City, we won 5-0 at home, the derby. That was sort of the best. And the whole season was like ups and downs, a lot of wins and losses. Yeah, I think, therefore, those two very early on would be, or even a good day would have been when the day that the league was launched with Mrs. Ambani in there and all the owners in there, and after that high tea at Antilla, yeah, it was great. I'll just track a flight and flight radar 24 for a Delhi to Dushanbe to confirm the CAFA news. Just kidding. Dushanbe will not work because we are playing at Hisor. So you have to track, so to say, something else if you want to be up to date on that. Every time we crack jokes, make sarcastic comments about Indian football, sir, I hope people have understood by now that it's pure coping mechanism, nothing else. Yuvraj, I don't think so, because remember yesterday I put up that tweet on Shavi that Shavi should join us his agent should send his CV and he should join us for free. I explicitly wrote it's just a parody, so to say, because I don't know if people understand things or don't. Therefore, I've become very, very careful about this whole, we're making fun of it and making parrot because people take things seriously. In today's world, making jokes, making fun has become much more difficult. And to me, it is sad that that where we can't do that. It is, and as you say, for a lot of people, most probably it is a little bit of a coping mechanism with the situation that we find ourselves in. So therefore, hoping for the best, but mentally prepared for the worst is what I always say. And let's hope so. Should India send you 23 side too? No, methamphetamine they can't, because if you qualify for the playoffs, it overlaps. So therefore, it doesn't make sense. The qualifiers start on the 3rd, and the tournament, one second, where do I have the schedule of the CAFA Nations Cup? Sorry, not Nations League. On the 4th is the final game, so you can't actually send your under 23s because the 3rd is the starting of the competition, so therefore it overlaps. So therefore, no, you have to send. If India sends, India will have to send its A team. Methamphetamine says, I try and check your videos after your stream. It is usually a busy day for me after work. I just sit down at dinner to watch your stream. Thanks, Methamphetamine, for joining in. Not only you, everybody, thanks who joins in, watches, supports. So therefore, So therefore, I do that, or I do all of this for all of you guys. Otherwise I wouldn't be spending my 1.5, 2 hours on these lives, interaction platforms. So it's fun for me. Otherwise I wouldn't do it. Yuvraj says, yes, sir, not just making jokes of fun. You try and giving them reality check. The way they will react makes you recheck your tweet that what have I even said. So it is if I look at some of the stuff, it's just crazy, right? I mean, I take, for example, I did my analysis today, and in regard to who we should face in the Women's Asian Cup, and someone actually wrote if what I was smoking with, I said Australia is the easiest amongst Australia, Japan, and North Korea. So then you also know that fans don't always understand things. Sorry, with all due respect. But if you were going to say Australia, because they're tall, are the toughest of the 3, then you don't understand football for me. Sorry. Someone actually said that. So therefore, I write stuff. Again, sometimes I react if I have time. Sometimes I also, even though there's some good comments, I sometimes don't react because I don't have the time to it. Sometimes I actually don't even tweet anything, in the sense I just tweet the links to the videos. It is sometimes the way it is, right? So therefore, like tomorrow, I'll be doing a live watch along of the draw, because I'm looking forward to that. Because I think it needs to be pushed, it needs to be promoted amongst Indian football fans. We've got something like this after a long time, so therefore, yes, I will try and do my little bit for it. But some of the stuff is just crazy, and so therefore, have you faced any legal or personal issues with other officials in AIFF? Nothing legal, but personally, you've had stuff on and off with people. That sadly happens, yes. Gokulam, Kerala is sanctioned for not paying their SEC manager. Yuvraj, sad, no? Yeah. So therefore, for me, it shows that if an organization like Gokulam Kerala can do that, and they will mostly try and say, hey, listen, we were right on this. Where they say, no, if you sack your coach, you're never right. In the sense, if you're not paying him, you could be right sacking him, but you're not right when you don't pay him. So therefore, these are all, very difficult things happening. Yuvraj says, sir, these fans are insecure kids who just have to put their knobhead argument to get some penny attention of no worth. I've realized that. We've had those discussions also when we did the Twitter Spaces and all that stuff, and I am, what much more to say, right? So therefore, for me, again, I'm open to discussion with anyone, everyone. If someone wants to discuss, wants to have an argument about things, I'm open to that. But it has to have some worth, it has to have some value, and that is something which I will say, and that's the challenge that we all face when we have discussions with people, is that, which I also have in general, are we willing to accept the view of others who might be saying something else. I've said this, no, we've had this discussion here. Convince me that I should have a different opinion. It's like, we had a few times discussion of a bigger rather than a smaller ISL open to small teams and all that stuff. Well, I don't come purely from a fan perspective. I come from a management, from a commercial side also, from an understanding of governance, what makes sense, what doesn't. And again, people don't have to agree with me. If I am in a management position and have to take a call, I have to take a call in the best interest of, let's say, the league, of the federation, or of a club, right? And I know that a lot of people in India like to operate, I don't know. It's I find it very difficult the way it is at the moment, and again, open for discussions and open for conversations and and arguments. But I always say is that please know your stuff before you come for a discussion, because that is, I think, for me, the most important thing. So I've heard Gokulam Kerala FC owner has a deceased son who was football fan, and the owner of Gokulam Kerala is doing all this in his loved memory. Is it true, sir? If so, then it's so beautiful and efforts end. I've heard something. I don't know if was it this. One second, let me think. I've heard something in regard to the Gokulam family. Yeah, I think I don't remember. So again, Yuvraj, it might be true. Ask the Gokulam Kerala fans. The CAFA Nations Cup might not be able to field their U23 due to AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. Yes, Angry Birds. I just realized that as well, because I thought, why not say now under 23s? Doesn't make sense because the final is on the 7th and the AFC U23 Asian Cup qualifiers start on the 3rd. So yes, most of them will not be able to field their under 23s. They might field a combination of a B plus under 21s or something. I don't even know, under 20s, whatever they have. Because and this shows you, right? I mean, we talk about planning, organization. We've criticized SAF. CAFA is in the same situation. I think that's the reason why Malaysia has actually opted out. Malaysia said, you know what, my European-based players I won't be able to get because it's not a FIFA window. Our under 23s are playing. Who actually do I send to that tournament? So yeah, these are all realistic problems, structural organizational problems that you face in the Asian continent. Let's see. Serena current senior team squad 35 odd players without name. How many you think don't deserve to be part of the national team? Ogni, I would say we've got a pool of 50 plus players, and I guess half of them don't deserve to be, yeah, I would say half. If I take a pool of 50 players, I think half of them don't deserve to be there, if you ask me. I felt Indians poke their head on every argument except the ones which matter in everyday life. Blue, very well said. Very, very, very well said. Yes, it's the biggest problem I see with Indians, and it's I love when people try and explain to you football where you then realize is that I love to have discussion. The Bengali me loves to have discussion, right? Arguments, no problem. But prove to me that I and my approach is wrong. So therefore, for me, yeah, that's the problem, right? We have just had the example of the whole Xavi hoax. I said that yesterday. The Xavi hoax will most probably be the most covered story on Indian football in the year 2025. The most covered story in 2025. Whatever we're talking about, that will stick as the biggest story in 2025? Just think about it, right? We have had the success of the women's national team. We've had or have AIFF Supreme Court matter of the Constitution. We have the ISL on hold. And this Xavi hoax is the biggest global story on Indian football. So yeah, our priorities are wrong. And if I see some of the views that people have had on this story across YouTube, Insta, Twitter, it is insane. It is just, I don't know what to say. So Mono Sujan is ACL match, U23 occupied during Cup final August, and who going to play CAFA? I think only the Mohun Bagan ACL match is in mid-September. So normally they would have gotten their team players even later because of the FIFA window just before that. So therefore, I don't think that is a problem. Under 23s are not there. Durand Cup final, honestly, who cares about the Durand Cup? I've said that, and I know people are angry with me, but I don't care. Sorry, the Durand Cup is at the moment the most unimportant thing. And if the national team wants to play, I think the AIFF needs to put its head down and say, you know what, I'm taking the best players. Period. Tata bye bye. If we're going again, it is not confirmed that we're playing the CAFA Nations Cup. I hope we do, but we need to wait for 2 days. So if possible, can you please check UP Football Sangh website and scroll to the player names section and just read the names? Oh. Do I really want it, Yuvraj? Just 1 second. Let me just let me find Uttar Pradesh. Okay, where is the player section? Okay, let me see. Where are the names? Okay, 23. Oh God, okay, I now see it. They took someone created a draft website and just copied the names of English guys in it. Oh God. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that sums up for you the management of the UP Football Sangha. Enjoy Interkashi. So I heard Thapa 2018-19 was quality even in youth compared to other players, then downfall. Yeah. I mean, he was one of the best players in the Asian Cup for India. He was brilliant up and down the field. And thanks to your club, I think, again, he's gone to Mohun Bagan for money, but I think he was a better player at Chennai than he has been at Mohun Bagan. So that's the reality, if you like it or not. What do you think? Will Suhail play U23 qualifiers or CAFA? He needs to play U23 qualifiers. I don't think, again, Suhail is not ready for the national team. Sorry, guys. He has to play CAFA Cup. A boy was arguing with me that this all I-League fiasco was sole responsibility of AIFF and interested clubs had nothing to do with it, humbly headed out of the convo. Yuvraj, some of the convos are not worth, in this. As an Indian, the worst phrase I've ever heard, like, I don't know whether these people feel too inferior or what from the rest of Homo sapiens present in the world. Like, why you have to mention India and everything? Yeah, because Indians need to sell the respect that they supposedly have. Right? That's something which I feel is always very difficult. And I have to sadly say, out of own experience, the respect for Indians has gone down dramatically over the last few years. Dramatically. And it's not the fault. Again, people will say, oh, the Westerners, this, that, everything. No, it's not. It's the behavior of a certain class group of people. It's the problem, sir. In India, people care more about Xavi than Indian football itself, and they will teach us nationalism. Why are you playing Pakistan, Bangladesh? Is their problem. Very, very true. Blue. It is. I saw somewhere a quote from Saurav Ganguly where Saurav Ganguly said, we need to play we need to play Pakistan, and then wild abuses and whatever, blah blah. And again, the problem is, India has an internal racism issue. Look at people from the Northeast will always tell you that. And the South has faced it in the last few years, and now the Bengalis are the next group, right? I've heard weird things in Mumbai and Delhi about Bengalis, especially about Bengali women in Mumbai, right? Where it's with this Kala Jadoo and all that stuff. Like, guys, are you serious? Are you, I mean, are you, I'm talking about educated people, right? I'm not talking about uneducated lots. But, sir, what if clubs don't release players for camps? It's not a window until 7th September. Ogni, I'm the AIFF. I can, if I want to, I can have a go, you know. So you'll find Brit and Spanish names. Yeah, because someone has taken a template website and that template website had names in it and they've not changed the names. Heard that Khalid is 80% confirmed. Arnav, you've heard wrong. And this is the crazy one, right? You come with confidence. This is exactly the perfect example that they just needed. You come with confidence and say Khalid is 80% confirmed, right? Some XYZ has said that, right? He's not confirmed. Even if he comes in and people tell you afterwards, no, it was sorted out in advance. No, it was not. What am I going to tell people on this live or on social media, right? Everybody seems to know stuff and they don't have a effing clue. Indian footballs are India's biggest problem. To everybody has an opinion about things and they don't know things, right? So, hey Uchud, if Iran fields the first team against us, fill in the blank. They will not, Uchud. The top players in Europe will not go. That's the first thing, right? Iran is not fielding its best team. If anybody thinks that Iran is fielding its first team, they will not even field the under 23s because they're in competition. So this whole CAFA Nations Cup, there'll be a lot of players, but let me just go and see, right? I've got Tarimi, International Milan, he's not coming, right? Someone is playing at Mahatskala, Al Wada, those guys are out. Where are my other ones, right? Majid Hosseini plays in Turkey, he's out. Jan Baksh will not play, he plays at Herenveen. Golizade plays at Lech Poznan, will not be playing. Syed Manish Westerlo not playing. Syed Azmun, UAE also not. So for me, the best team not playing. Best thing about this is it's a shopping one. You open, you will see filters and discount voting on it and a card option. Oops. Some guys from Mohun and East Bengal YouTube channels are praising Sohail for his positioning in last CFL clubs, even though he missed 4 or 5 goals. Guys, if the CFL is your standard, stay at that level. Don't bother about ISL and don't bother about the national team. The CFL level is so poor. I've watched the highlights. I mean, the less I say, the better. So therefore, yeah, it's just embarrassing. It is just embarrassing. Bengalis are now in the next list of racism. I think I'm gradually going to have to accept my fate. Yeah, Angry Birds, it is disturbing to see that. And if Saurabh Ganguly has to face this, think about these poor workers who are traveling across India and facing this and being ganged up, this and that and everything. And people born in Bengal with Hindu names being ganged up and said you're Bangladeshis. It's a shame. It's a shame. For CAFA, who's the coach? When is the Supreme verdict? When is the camp? Are the players in condition? Too many questions, but no answers. Ochut, first, you didn't ask. Are we playing CAFA Nations Cup? Not confirmed, right? Coach should be decided by Friday. Supreme Court verdict could be happening this week, I've been told again. When's the camp? I hope that it starts next week. The players' condition, I don't even know. Sunil is cutting ribbon for Durand Cup, and the rest we will have to wait and see. If Iran fields the first team answer, they will be for the second time in the global news. Yeah, but it's not happening, right? Zealandism just released a video of us as the most disillusioned national team over the Shavioks. Angry Birds, it's just embarrassing. I was speaking to Spaniards on Saturday in Gelsenkirchen when we were playing between them not we playing when the match was happening between Schalke and Sevilla. It was embarrassing. It is embarrassing. You know what do I say? I just put my head down. I was just listening to those, and I can't defend it. It is so bad. You know. So yeah, right. So what to say? And we believe we are this, we're that, and whatever. We're just yeah. We're worried about Iran when we have to literally face Afghanistan. You're right, and that's the point. Very good point. Beat Afghanistan, play Tajikistan. Think about Iran under 20s. I won't even think about. Don't even think about Iran. Iran suffering from sanction. How they send so many players in Europe. Dark football is not. Iranians fly out, fly in, fly out normally, right? We've got a huge Iranian diaspora here in Germany as well, so they're normally not. It's not about the people; it's about the country. India without the sanction have no players in Europe. That's a flex. Says Yuvraj. Yeah. People are calling. They can determine Bengalis if they are Indian or Bangladeshi. Are so retarded. Bengali, they know if Kolkata, Hooghly, or the rest of the districts is different. Blue, yeah. Based on the accent, they can say they can differentiate. It is a shame, and that's the point. And as I say, the less we talk about it, the better. It's just embarrassing what things are happening these days. And yeah, and I'm interested to see what the discussion will be when we have to travel to Bangladesh. I think there's supposed to be a match, in the name of Hamza, supposedly in Sylhet, Bangladesh versus India. Let's see what the discussion is then, right? Quick reminder, 1 hour and 27 minutes plus, so 87 minutes plus on this live on a Monday evening. Do like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. If you're liking the conversation, 24 likes so far. I think we can do better. And yeah, share it with others. And again, help me to grow the community. We're still at 2,797. Thanks a lot. In 2,800, right? 3,000. Guys, I need your support. And a reminder, tomorrow I'll do a watch along of the draw of the AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 group stage. So hope for the best, but we know I at least know what we're going to get. So do watch that tomorrow. And therefore, always thanks for your support. And do watch the shorter videos. As I say, I'm making a lot. You guys need to watch it. You guys need to like it. Only then I'll be getting better ratings, rankings in the algorithms. Did my special on with Zoeb. Yeah, do watch those things. Thanks a lot. How is it possible that every year things can go worse in Indian football and then it goes worse? At the moment, it's how did I explain it a while back? I said it's a black hole. And rather than trying to get out of that black hole, you're thinking you're like a spaceship, right? You go into a black hole and you want to turn around and get out of it again. We actually go deeper into that black hole. That's where we are at the moment, right? I wish the proposed AFC Nations League had happened and the top Asian countries didn't oppose it. Yeah, but what would the Nations League bring to us? We would be playing what in Group 3, Group 4, So for me, Asian Nation League sounds fine, but you cannot. Asia is too big for certain things, and look at the way they've structured the qualifiers for the Asian Cup and World Cup qualifiers. Yeah, let's see. Well, I agree there is illegals who came, but that doesn't mean you will behave like that. And the target is the poor. Didn't touch the rich or the middle class, obviously. Yeah, Blue, very, very right. Anyone who deports out Kalancha from AIFF deserves all the praises and respect. And then now, on a serious note, sir, how about Kalancha getting re-elected? How well are we going to be doomed? Yuvraj, that's why I say people talking about AIFF elections, what could happen, what will happen, what is this, that, everything. That's why I say, I'm not judging on the elections because I don't know which way this the tide is going to turn, right? The point to me is with the elections in the AIFF is let them first happen, and then let's see who is going to stand for what and where. At the moment, I don't know if, first of all, if the elections are going to happen, or if this current AIFF might be trying to complete its term. I do not know. You do not know. We do not know. So therefore, these are the realities, and therefore, I hope that things at some stage will change. But do I know? Do we know? We don't know. That's why I am very careful. That's why I always say is like as long as something is not confirmed, I will not speak about it as if it's confirmed. That is how I'm treating it. Sangeeta will be on stage. Way to go. We should celebrate these little things as well, but mainstream media is least bothered. If the mainstream media even bothered to report about, India qualifying for the Women's Asian Cup, that would be great, right? And it is very, very clearly evident to me that there are certain sections of the media who don't want to report about football. If there is a scandal like the Shavi one, all of them were there, right? Everyone's reported about it. But this lovely story, if it was a hockey story, they would have reported it. They would have made a Chak De moment, whatever they would have done. Indian football is to some extent being boycotted by mainstream media. And I think someone needs to ask the question, why is that happening? This is a question which needs to be asked, right? We've had the biggest success of qualification of the Indian women's senior national team ever. And it was de facto not covered by the mainstream media. Shame on them. If anyone has proved gravity better than Newton, it's AIFF, low and low, falling all day and every day to the lowest and deepest. Yuvraj, are we still in this whole gravity situation, or are we in space? And as I said, we're already in a black hole and we're going deeper into the black hole. I think we don't have gravity anymore. We are falling in that black hole, and there is no way of taking us out at the moment. It's like Football House is a spaceship, and then that spaceship is going down the drain, and so therefore, it's it is it is the way it is. It is the way it is. So yeah, what to say? It's very, very, very sad. Did you attend Perukaville 2005 Music Festival or Tomorrowland is nearer to Germany? Aman, I didn't attend any of those two. I am no longer old enough to go to a festival. Perukaville is closer to me than to actually. Yeah, it's a little bit closer. It's halfway to Tomorrowland, so to say. Because one is on our side of the border, the other one is on the Belgian side of the border. Two big festivals. Been there many, many years back, 10 years, 12 years back. And so therefore, no, I didn't, to give you a simple answer. Karan Job is the one who should be deported to the Pacific Ocean just because of what he has served us with in the last 5 years. Angry Birds, there's some other people who could join him on that trip. Huh? Imagine the Indian table tennis team beating China in a round, got more reported Indian football team qualifying for Asian Cup. Blue, it is, like I said, I think Indian football is not being, given its due by the mainstream media. And I've been on discussions on TV shows 10, 12 years back. There was a lot, Why Indian football is boycotted? Answer is simple. It's the only sport that is global. It has real numbers to overtake any other non-cricket sport by miles. The lobbies work hard to hide and are successful. Raj, yeah. Very valid point from you. Very, very valid point from your side. I totally agree with you on this one, because I think the cricket lobby is doing its job, right? I mean, it was more reported in India that Italy has qualified for the cricket whatever tournament than India qualifying for the Women's Asian Cup. So what are our priorities? So therefore, it is shameful, and to me, we have a problem, and I think we need to. Actually, yeah, you brought me. I think I'll do a story on that. It's sad. Hey Akash, CAFA news is confirmed. No, CAFA Nations Cup participation will be confirmed in the next 48 hours. If we're taking part, let's put it this way. There were over the weekend, at least, there were two other nations in the mix, and we were one of them. And let's see if we are the one who's going to be the eighth nation or not. But there were other nations in the mix. Why to pollute the oceans, Uraj? Yeah, whatever. Hey, Rushabh. Hi, Kumar. Welcome back, guys. It is, again, just to sum it up, CAFA Nations Cup. It's not confirmed. Yes, Ashish and Khil now put out a story, and then they have to sort of rectify. Let's wait and see and hope we are. Yeah. And on the other side, there will be the AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 group stage draw tomorrow. India is part of that. And let's see who we get. Shongita Bashwa is going to be one of the women to be part of that draw, and let's see what happens. Are you talking to people in the mainstream media? Maybe you can get an interview in some of the channels and then it spreads over social media. Ochut, yes, I know people, but you know what? The guys who used to be there running sports departments, they were interesting. A lot of Bengali guys in the past, they've all gone, or even the guys who used to do football, a lot of them do cricket, right? If I just do, even presenters, if I look at the Anand Tyagi, I look at Mayanti Langa, Arjun Pandit, all of them do, cricket these days, rather, because that's what pays their bills. Yeah. So let's see. I will actually try and raise the topic. Yeah. Happy that our national team might be playing the CAFA Nations Cup. It will give me up for this team to prepare. I really hope it will be Constantine. Rushabh, I totally agree with you. I used to play cricket at club level like around 7 years ago, and I wasn't selected by Bengal CAB youth, but my dad prevented me from going because he was well aware of money laundering and lobbying. See, and yeah, that's how sports in India sadly works. If I or you like it or not, that's the reality, right? In India, women plays FIFA World Cup. Will that make any difference to Indian football setup? Deepak, I would hope so. But I look at Europe and I see, all the hype that is happening in Europe around the women's Euros and England beating Spain yesterday in the final. And just if you look at the penalties, how bad all the penalties have been around the tournament, some of the finishing, how it was, I really don't know. But World Asian Cup, maybe not. But if we qualify for a World Cup, yes, it will become news. Will it make a difference to set up? I don't know, because the question is money going to come in? So therefore that's another thing, right? So the problem at the end of the day is, will money come in? That's the UEFA has yesterday come out with a statement saying that that instead of 15 million euros, that was the loss that they predicted, their losses will actually be most probably around 25 million euros. Just think about it, so yeah. But I still didn't get why people want to not play Pakistan and all. If you hate them so much, then beat them. Why this kind of stuff's weird? Blue India wants to do the boycott thing. No? That's why also this whole Bangladesh thing is happening and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So can we at least score a goal in AFC Women's Asian Cup? Indian men's fair to score a single goal in AFC Asian Cup. Dark Knight, I hope so, but I don't know. In the men's, I also said our game has to be scoring goals. I know that when your coach decision win will come. Kumar, looks likely by the end of the week. If we start a camp next week, then the coach has to be in by this week. On the contrary, we need leaders at AIFF who are as good lobbyists like anti-football people once are. These crash course organizers, paisa eaters, won't step out of their comfort due to their selfish interest. Yeah, Ru was very right. Anyway, CAB Bengal's country has more Biharis than Bengalis. Oops. Yeah. The manager for Northeast United, when they qualified first time for ISL semis, works for IPL team Lucknow for the last few years. Stark reality. Yeah. I think you're talking about Rahul Sengupta, right? Yeah. Bro, why the problem in Pakistan and sports arises, specifically cricket, is because these very cricketers from Pakistan not just mock our army, but also spit venom against our country, not at all political. Is it? I don't think it is about that, right? It is because India has the power. Let India say we don't. Let India say as a government, We will not play Bangladesh in the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. Does the AFC, does FIFA care about it? We're out. In cricket, we control. Look at that. What was that Legends tournament which happened in England, right? They agreed to play against everybody. And then they just said, no, we don't want players. And the players are being celebrated. But again, the guys who are organizing the tournament, they're in the fix. That is the problem, Yuvraj. Turns out Mumbai football is still going on. Next season will start in March. There's a long way to go and a lot of time to prepare. Rishabh, work hard, train hard. If our women's national qualified for field worker will be the biggest achievement of Indian sports ecosystem in the last 50 years. Yeah, but Akash, will it be seen like that? That is, I agree. So I get it, but you don't say let's forfeit all matches because they're terrible, right? Yeah, no, very right. I was checking the penalties in the England versus Sweden women, and God forbid they were atrocious. Angry Birds, look at the Bon Marti is the FIFA Women's Footballer of the Year at the moment, and brilliant footballer. She scored an excellent goal against Germany in the semis. But look at her penalty, right? So let's not get into that. Was then prime example of Thailand, of that Paki javelin medalist Nadeem. He literally shared stage with a designated terrorist verified by myself to via US sanction website. Yeah, but you're right. You're being racist as well because you're using the P word. Do you recognize that here in the Western world, right? A lot of Indians are realizing, who say, oh, you know what, we're not Muslim, we're not this, we're that, we're Hindus and all. Nobody cares, you're brown, right? I learned that 2 weeks ago in London again. In the UK, it is very, very clear that Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Sri Lankans, Nepalis, the Nepalis are clubbed maybe, or our North Easterners are clubbed elsewhere. We're perceived as one, right? So, so therefore it makes no sense. And therefore I don't share your views of don't play. It does make, if that's the way the world would operate, most countries wouldn't play against each other, right? So it doesn't work this way. If ICC were as powerful as FIFA, cricket might have been more global game. BCCI wouldn't have dominated as much as they would have been heavily fined or strong action would have been taken. Exactly, Roshan. That's the whole point. The whole point of playing the boycott card, you can do that in cricket. You can put pressure and say, listen, you're playing a tournament in Pakistan, or we play our matches in what was it? Middle East somewhere, right? I don't even know where. It doesn't happen in, either you play or you don't, right? Why are the South Asian Games not being held for a while? Because of this situation. Why didn't we participate recently in the SAF U20 women's? They say, oh, it was in Bangladesh, but there were different reasons behind it, right? So therefore, I am not someone who likes to mix sports and politics, right? But sometimes you have to, and that's the reality. And BCCI is powerful because all money comes from here. The BCCI. You mean the ICC? The ICC, to me, the ICC is the BCCI, right? So, cricket, they will sell you. For my friends here, some of them who've come here to German last few years play cricket, right? They play in open fields, right? The German cricket national team doesn't have anyone who's anything German, right? There, the OCIPA rule doesn't, so therefore for me, we don't even need to look at it. Not at all forfeit or play where it's compulsion, but avoid where it's avoidable. Why to contribute to their finances by sharing the most rich sporting platform of both countries and this cricket. Yuvraj, then you haven't understood that sports isn't just about money, right? So that's the thing. BCI can emphasize exactly. They're doing it right. Recently, we said, okay, Pakistan hockey team can come play India due to Olympic charter arrangement. Pakistan and we won't send our team, and we were like, okay, yeah, because it's done by both sides. It's not a one-sided story, right? So therefore, I think sports, and this cannot be denied, and that's a different thing. Now then, why Russia is banned in Olympics? Because Western lobby and their propaganda. Why don't talk about Russia? Kumar, stop this Western lobby propaganda which you talk about, right? What are you comparing with each other? So, take it. End of discussion then, right? Oh, Western lobby propaganda. You've not realized in what world you live today, right? So, yeah, propaganda. Okay, fine, let's live with it. But hey, yeah, let's not get into that. Otherwise, it's just, you know. So, therefore, sports, mixing it with politics, always very, very tricky. Yeah, yeah. Apparently, some folks think we're generally respected more because of supreme leader, but they have no idea they are considered the same people they hate from the bottom of the heart. Rushabh, India's, yeah, and I realized that last week in London. I realized that every time I go to the Middle East, because wherever I go, I say I'm German and I'm Indian. But in certain parts of the world nowadays, yes, brown skin, I'm fine. I just say I'm German because I'm fed up of all these discussions and what people will say. It is no longer proud to say that you're Indian. That's the reality. That's my reality. I don't have to care about other realities. This is my reality. As someone who's proudly, I am a German. I don't need to have a passport of India, but I'm OCI. I'm proud as an Indian. But yes, racism is an issue. But there is our own people who are a problem who go abroad. It's embarrassing. I had the conversation the other day in Cologne with someone. She lives in Delhi. She used to live in Cologne. Right? Let's not get into that. So the entire associate cricket team is full of South Asians. My cricket friends say, look, we have so many international teams, it's global. I check the squad list. Yes, cricket does make sense. And sort of said the exact same thing. Sports is better than that, but people are abused calling him. And that's the problem, Blue. If an Indian sporting legend, right, cannot express his views, and then he's reduced to being a Bengali, then it shows you the problem of India in the year 2025, because this reach, and I said this 25, 30 years ago when, oh, let's not do English, let's focus on our regional languages and all that stuff. That was everywhere. In Germany, they made an effort to teach the kids English as early as possible. When I left for India in class 5. Until class 4, there used to be no English class. Nowadays, it starts in class 1. We have gone back rather than gone forward, and that is a reality. And if you like it, so that's just, if Russia was kicked out from world football and won against Cairo due to Iraq and Afghanistan, Akash, then where do we start? Where do we stop? Afghanistan, then you have to add the Soviet Union to the discussion. So that's the thing. India had respect. Now we're laughing stock. Yeah, sadly. AIFF should speak with MA told ban away match. Bangladesh away match at neutral venue. Show the MEA has no influence on the AFC and FIFA. We are the laughing stock of world football. Do you think that if the MEA says, oh, you know what, we have to play at a neutral venue, then you know what AFC will tell us? Okay, you don't need to play. 3-0, 3 points for Bangladesh. Our standing is so bad in football today. It has never been worse. So that is the reality. What's the context of what sort of is it? Yeah, it's Ganguly. So Ganguly said that India, Pakistan should be playing cricket, right? So that's the thing. They had the immigration to West, especially to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, is the reason of recent Indian hatred. My lab mate went to Canada. She told me why Indians are jumping like monkeys in Canada. Akash, it's even here in Germany. I saw it in the UK. As I say, in the UK, you don't make that differentiation. If you're Indian, Pakistani, or Bangladeshi, you are South Asian. Right? This is an interesting part. I realized that at the event where I was last Wednesday, right? 2 weeks ago, sorry, at the Desi Ballers event. There is There is no differentiation made because you, as a South Asian, face the same problems, and there they don't make a differentiation of what you are. The P word is used against everybody as an abuse. So, yeah. CAFA Nations Cup. They will, Jyoti, let's see if we're going to play for it. If Government of India intervene, AFC will listen. AFC will not. Why would the AFC listen to the Government of India? Who is the Government of India to tell the AFC? The government of Germany, Spain, England can intervene and go to FIFA or to AIFF. They will not listen. Why would they? Sir, I had no idea about the racism versus Saurav, but the same Saurav was in full support not to play with Pakistan at Legends League, and now all of a sudden the stance change in the stance, not in a month. Yuvraj, I think, he maybe he's done some introspection, realized what's the right thing, right? And certainly there are certain people. Let's see. Good night, Yuvraj. Another amazing session today. Let's hope CAFA happens to us. We have had enough with Shawi. We need this. Yeah, CAFA is needed. You're very, very right. CAFA is needed. We need to be playing that competition. And I hope that CAFA confirms us in the next 48 hours. And then let's see. Tajikistan, Iran, and Afghanistan. Yeah, in a few weeks. How can we develop when our district have no dedicated football association? Devajyoti, you have to build those, and yeah. So therefore, it has to be created, right? It has to be registered with the state association, and then say, we want something in the district. That is the way it has to be. Pakistan is seen as dangerous creature due to Pakistani grooming game, but Indian hate in England is very recent. Yeah, Akash. But I was twice this year in the UK, and I have realized that it exists. If you go to a pub and have a conversation, I say I'm German, and then they treat you differently. I have brown skin, but they treat you differently. I avoid. Wherever I go, in the world, the first thing as I do, I don't want to get into a conversation, into arguments. Let me live peacefully, I'll let you live peacefully. It's the best way. Because you never know the other person on the other side, how he or she will react. This is the sad part. In the past, you could have a conversation, a discussion with people. It is funny how Pakistan is considered more violent, but there are people who openly wear Kohli's India jersey. Now imagine other way around, obviously not current players, but some legends like Wasim Akram. Yeah, Rushabh, very right. FC Goa and Mumbai will not be senior players for CAFA. It's not in FIFA window. Shomo, they don't have matches till mid-September. So, that's a conversation. If I was AIFF, if they won't release players out, anyway, let's not talk about it. Should we go for an expensive, experienced U19 coach and a cheaper Indian coach for senior team? No, Deepak. We don't even have a U19 team. Why do you want an expensive coach? I do not care about what happens. Great career is just tamasha between nations. Okay, Kumar. Tell me one thing that our Euro content creators don't understand. Even Ishaji applying AIFF cannot hire him. They are jumping like Akash. I've said what, the less said, the better. Let's put it this way. Who's more trustable in your opinion? Is it Marcus or Ashish? No respect for anyone. Both of them are trustable. But again, there will be instances where they will do stories or put out things on social media which might be wrong. Like the whole Shavi fiasco, right? One thing I realized over this Shavi fiasco is that majority of these football creators who apparently know what's right of Indian football are just stupid. Yeah. Rushabh, I wouldn't term it that way, but that's how you termed it. So therefore, yeah, it is very, very sad. Mohan Bagan, FC. No, they don't, Shomona. Goa play 13th of August qualifiers, and the first round of matches are on the 16th, 17th of September in the AFC Champions League 2. And the matches are in late August, early September. So I think they should release the players. That would be would be the right thing to do. Otherwise, yeah, exactly. Shouldn't we have an Indian under-19 team? Yeah, but Deepak, who are you going to play? We have under-17 and under-20 competitions. Why would you want an under-19 team? For what? For whom? Right? Just wanting something for the sake of wanting doesn't help us. We need to know what we are looking at, what we need, what we don't need. So therefore, guys, keep that in mind. At the moment, the AIFF doesn't have money. You're talking about bringing in a costlier coach than for the seniors. Doesn't make sense. At the moment, we don't even know what our football season will be, if we're going to have a football season. The highlights of the football season might be the CAFA Cup. Yeah. So therefore, for me, we have to be careful. Sorry for language, but all these creators just suck up to European football. Yeah, but that's what people want to hear, right? If people wanted to hear something good, they would come here and have a discussion with us. We wouldn't be 18 people, it would be, 1,000 people, right? But that's, Now after Shavi answered how competent this department person who said this, Shavi embarrassment. Kumar, it's not about the department. I still say Shubuto, Greenhorn, stupid mistake, for my thing, Marcus should never done a story on this. Good night, Blue. Yes, hope for an easier group tomorrow. Yeah, and once more reminder, tomorrow I'll do a watch along of the AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 group stage draw. Most surprising, Indians, especially from Hindi, but bring their caste superiority complex in the West. Crazy, yeah. And no one will take this BS here. I was surprised how a lot of creators think Xavi's opponent would have turned things around. They don't even have an idea. Even if Xavi would have taken a 50% pay, we still wouldn't afford. Rishabh, his last salary was as high as the overall budget of the AIFF. Just to give a reality, right? His full budget, AIFF budget. Qatar offered him the national team job, which was above the AIFF budget. So therefore, we don't even need to talk about money. Deepak, their system is like U7, U20, not like Cricket United. Exactly. And Deepak says, thank you. Right. Let me come to an end. 1 hour and 57 minutes plus. Spoke about a lot today once more. Yeah. As I said, hoping tomorrow for a good draw. Asian Women's Asian Cup. AFC Women's Asian Cup 2026 group stage. I'll do a watch along of the draw process, hoping for the best. Keep on supporting Indian football. I know it's not always very easy, and yeah. So therefore, for me, let's hope for the best tomorrow, and I'll be back tomorrow. And like, share, and subscribe. Mehar, sorry, dinner time for me. Nearly 2 hours of talking, and join me tomorrow. I'll be doing, as I said, AFC Women's Asian Cup. And let's hope that we play the CAFA Nations Cup. Not confirmed. We need another 48 hours. 2 other nations are in the mix as well, from what I've heard. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.